What's up, bikers? I'm Johnny Thompson from Fit for Racing, home of strength and conditioning for extreme off-road bike sports athletes, and today I am in the office hammock recovering because recovery is super important. I'm going to tell you how to do it. Hang on after this intro.
1, 2, 3, listen.
Welcome back. So today the theme is recovery. How do you recover to get the best out of your body and your mind? Because that's super important to have the right kind of recovery so that you can perform the best. Point of going to the gym, I hope for you guys, is to get the best training as quickly as you can, the most effectively, so that you can basically become a better athlete. It's not always the case that more is better. It's better is better. And that means recovering has to have priority over the amount that you do. Because you could just be digging yourself a hole and making things hard for yourself and not getting the adaptation that you deserve for the time in the gym. There's a good saying, there's no such thing as overtraining, it's under recovery. So break down recovery techniques into these areas: blood flow, myofascial release and trigger point, mobility and end range movement, central nervous system, and sleep. We're going to neglect talking about nutrition at the moment because we're going to do a whole different part on nutrition next time. So watch out for that. Today, we're just going to focus on those other areas. So first on the list, blood flow. Encouraging blood flow can help recovery. Now there's a time and a place for this. Gentle exercise. So this is a really good way of increasing blood flow on rest days, just as long as the intensity is very low. So this can build that long-term energy system as well as helping encourage recovery. But just don't do too much of it. So maybe 1 or 2 days per week where you get this gentle exercise at a conversational pace, so you can be talking to a friend whilst doing it, and that can encourage some recovery. You see a lot of marketing for products like compression, hot and cold therapy, that kind of stuff, all based around the fact that blood flow encourages recovery and gets rid of any byproducts from training. Now, don't go crazy on just encouraging blood flow as your way of recovering. It's important to know about, but it's not the be all and end all. So let's take a look at other things. Next on the list, myofascial and trigger point release. This is very important. So for me, I see a lot of change in people when they focus on this, and they might not have done in the past. So myofascial release is basically the sliding surfaces between muscles, so loosening those up so that the muscles can move more freely, and trigger points, so places where you might have knots, releasing those knots will make you move better and be less prone to injury. You'll generally feel better too, because you know yourself, if you've got tight traps and shoulders and things, it actually puts weight on your mind and your free will. It's difficult to be dealing with when you're in that state of disrepair. So sorting those things out sometimes just makes you feel better in yourself, but it certainly does help you move better. Therefore, it's a really good recovery tool. End range mobility and flexibility, static stretching, this kind of thing. This is really important as well, because recovery means that you basically counteracting the effects of the training that you've done to make yourself perform better. And often the type of training that we do leaves you stiff, and that stiffness can create difficulty in moving. Well, I say difficulty, it's not ideal going downstairs after 20 rep max back squats. So that end range movement, getting those joints freed up, let's say banded distraction, static stretching, so making those joints free and able to move will help your recovery for sure and help you perform better in the next session. So banded distraction on hips and shoulders, static stretching, holding stretches for 2 minutes or so, PNF, so tensing, relaxing whilst in those stretches, yoga, Pilates, those kinds of things really encourage recovery, but help you move better. If your mobility is very good, then you can do the movements more proficiently and potentially get more out of your training with less potential for injury. And then when you're on your bike, that's going to make a hell of a difference. CNS, central nervous system. So this is the system of nerves that run through your body, send signals. This can get beaten up, and this is a real good reason to focus on the impacts of training and riding hard and volume. So if your central nervous system is beaten up, it's not going to be functional, and it could even be dangerous if you get out on your bike and do some high intensity riding. When your central nervous system is down, then your reactions are slower, your ability is less, but you might still feel capable to do the things that you did, and therefore put yourself in a compromising position. So central nervous system recovery, just literally doing nothing, so letting yourself recover. Go on a spa day, have a relaxing massage, not necessarily a sports massage, because that can actually fry your central nervous system as well, because some of it's excruciating. If you feel beaten up and fatigued all the time, then it might be time to take a full break from all things and just chill out in a hammock. Don't be running circles in your mind and thinking, well, I should be doing this, I could be doing this to make myself better. No, doing nothing right now, if you're in that state, is better than plugging away and digging yourself a hole. You recover so much better while you're asleep than when you're moving around. Certainly central nervous system stuff. If you work shifts, if you've been traveling, if you've had crazy nights out, you know that it takes a while for your body to adjust back into a flow and to recover and be fully capable, or even like mentally committed and sharp. If you don't have that sleep, it's really difficult to do that. If you're doing a lot of high intensity, heavy training, like I expect you would be at this time of the season, then definitely sleep 8 to 9 hours per night if you can, more if you can. Go to bed, don't watch any TV. Blue lights keep your mind active and thinking that it's daylight, so turn out all lights, electricals, completely pitch black and soundproof your bedroom. I know this sounds pretty extreme, but I have blackout blinds and they are the best. Over winter it's not too bad when the sun goes down quick, but in the summer you don't want to be lying awake because the sun's still out at 11:30 at night. Prioritize your sleep, and then when your alarm clock goes off in the morning, I mean, you might even wake up naturally before your alarm clock, which would be ideal. Then you feel fresh and ready for it. I'd like to tell you one particular way to make you recover better, but it's not that simple. Individuals have individual needs. What works for you might not work for somebody else, and vice versa. And what works for you now doesn't necessarily mean it'll work for you next week. So maybe try foam rolling, banded distraction, hot and cold therapy, static stretching, Pilates classes, that kind of thing, but rotate through them. So focus on one area for a little while and then change and do something else. That could be a change every few days. That could be a change every couple of weeks. So have an area that you focus on and then change it up and focus on something else. And then at least at the end of that process, you see what was effective over other things, and the process of variance is going to keep it even more effective. Thanks for helping me recover in my hammock whilst doing this episode. My central nervous system is now nice and refreshed. I might go and do some banded distraction. If you've got any questions about this episode or any others, please contact us via the Facebook page or email, and we'll try and get back to you as soon as we can. We're having a few messages at the moment, so if yours is in there, it's in the queue, we will get back to you, we promise. We love questions and they help us with the content for the future, so please ask away. We are here to help bikers get fitter, stronger, faster, more winner riders. So until next time.